A year ago, I found and cleaned 4 rocks, primed 2 of them with gesso, painted on them with acrylics, and sealed 2 of them with gloss varnish and left them outdoors for the whole year. And this is what they look like after all that sunshine, rain and snow. I'm a little baffled at the results, but before looking at them more carefully, I want to start a new test. I washed the new stones and chose 4 smoothest ones after they were dry. I really had slim pickings this time, so I'm gonna find some new rocks for the next one. I marked on the back which one is which with a paint marker and sloppy handwriting, but we'll be able to figure out afterwards which is which with the help of this footage. I'm priming 2 of them with gesso and I'm using clear gesso so the whiteness of the white gesso won't be a factor in the outcome. And also because my white gesso is running low and I still haven't bought a new one. I'm doing 2 layers to make sure I cover everything except for the bottom. The recommended drying time is 24 hours, but I was in a hurry so I let them dry overnight. I'm changing a few things from the last rock paintings. I'm still painting beetles, but I'm using the same or similar colors for all of them this time to eliminate the colors as a factor for how well the rocks survive. They're just going to be easier to compare this way. I already did red and yellow the last time, so I'm using different shades of blue this time and a bit of green and yellow for random highlights. Kind of like the metallic sheen of a shiny beetle. I'm using less hard lines and letting the colors blend together. I already have 2 that are not varnished from the last set, so I'm going to varnish all of these, but with 2 different methods. I'm using a matte varnish for the first 2 stones. One of them is primed and the other one is not. No diluting with water, just straight out of the bottle. And for the last 2, I'm using a mix of glue and water, about half and half, to seal them. I was so worried at this point that this was going to dry white. It's supposed to dry clear, but it looks white. I already had a mishap with sealing a clay pot using this glue, and it turned out kind of interesting, let's say. But luckily, this one dried clear in the end. So don't use glue for sealing clay pots, but so far so good on rock paintings. I did 2 layers for all of them and let them dry for a few hours in between and overnight afterwards before taking them outside. These all look pretty much the same right now, but I leave them outside for the summer and the next winter and get back to you on how they survived and what's the best sealing method for painted rocks. Now let's come back to the older rocks from last summer. The one that peeled off the most in multiple places is the yellow one that is primed but not varnished. The other yellow one is not primed but is varnished and seems to be doing a lot better. The red ones both seem to be okay. One is primed and varnished and the other is not primed and not varnished. And there's not much of a difference between them after 1 year, except that the varnished one is shiny because I used gloss varnish. And the unprimed and unvarnished one has slight chipping around the eyes. But that's all. I don't have an explanation for why the unprimed, unvarnished red rock did better than the primed yellow rock. And it's not just the yellow part that chipped off either, it's also the black paint that's present in all of them, so it doesn't seem to be about the paint. But varnishing at least didn't hurt and seemed to potentially be more important than priming. Or were the birds in the garden somehow more interested in the narrow yellow one and pick on it the most? Who knows? But if you want more ideas on how and what to paint on rocks, watch this video next. See you there!